Hey everyone, welcome to another Pioneer video. This is my PT testing leading up to Phoenix. As of right now, it's Saturday, February 1st. My deck list is due on Wednesday, so we are 5 days out from deck list being due. PT Brussels is in the final few rounds of Swiss. I believe pairings for round 13 are already up. And PT Nagoya is about to start day 2, pretty sure. Or maybe they're in day 1. I forget exactly how they overlap. But there's a lot of data pouring in. So basically things I've noticed, Bob Wong posted a breakdown of the top 20 players metagame after day 1, and it was pretty diverse. And so right now there's the decks that seem to be doing well. There's like what they call Chonky Red, is I think still undefeated as of round 13. It's pretty insane. Prowess Red has shown up. Blue White and Bant Spirits have shown up in force. Blue Black Inverter is everywhere. And Paulo Vitor Damo de Rosa is crushing with 5-color Niv Mizzet. Paulo would crush with anything, but Paulo's Niv deck, my last video was me playing Niv, and I liked it a lot. Paulo's build is pretty different. We hate his mana base, but we love the spells he chose to put in his deck. So Sperling is working on splicing the two together for upgrades. I hope we can get it where it needs to go, because 5-color Niv is totally my style, and I'm into it. However, for now, we have Blue-Black Inverter. The sideboard at least, very different. It seems like everyone is on Pack Rat, which is smart because that's a really powerful way to pivot. Thoughtseize Pack Rat is always a good sequence. They're off Brazen Borrower, completely in the main deck. Tassiger doesn't do anything, so their 5th Delve spell is Murderous Cut. There's a main deck removal spell, pretty much unconditional, destroy target creature or planeswalker, so that's a big deal. And I love the 3rd Jace, because Jace can win the game on its own, even after an Unmoored Ego or Slaughter Pact gets rid of your Inverter. Like, you can still deck yourself with Jace and still win. So, I'm into that change. One important note that I messed up in my previous video, Thassa's Oracle, you look at your top X cards, and you can put up to one of them on the top. I thought you had to put one of them on top, partially because I didn't read the card all the way, and partially because of the way Magic Online prompts you to make a choice. But yeah, in my previous video, I made some mistakes where I needed a spell, and Oracle saw 2 lands, and I just conceded. I was like, well, I know what I'm going to draw, and I'm dead. So hopefully we can work that a little better this time. So good thing that didn't happen at the PT. Learned before we got there. So I'm going to try this Martin Yuza list. He was streaming it in the couple days before the PT, and he went 20-1 on stream, which obviously is completely insane record. So let's see if we can try to match Martin Yuza's prowess with this deck. Okay, so this hand is fine. We have half the combo, Thoughtseize, some removal spells. Just gotta hope this is a matchup where Fatal Push is good. I'm going to go with a Thoughtseize right away, because in case they Thoughtseize me, in case it's the mirror and they Thoughtseize me, I want to have the first Thoughtseize. So I'm going to take their Inverter here. They have redundant copies of everything else, and just like me, they have a dead Fatal Push in their hand, but they have 2 targets for it in their hand, so let's see what we can do with this. They also are in the position where they can't cast either of their Oracles due to how their mana shook out. Okay. I'll have Oracle online next turn. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to just run it out in this spot. Thought erasure. Okay, that explains nothing. That doesn't explain why they didn't lead on Fabled Passage, but... Oh, okay, yes it does. They wanted to have black online in case they drew a relevant spell, but they still want to get to double blue eventually. Alright, so my hand just got a lot worse. We're looking for a dig through time, which is always the case. But especially right now. Yeah, so handful of removals, not where you want to be in the mirror at all. Okay, that's great. They just gave me basically the only thing you can do with Fatal Push in this matchup is pick off an Oracle, and they don't even have any other devotion, so that was just the full put the card in the graveyard mode. Just scry 0. But that fuels their dig, so if they drew dig and they're just trying to get there, just gotta hope they didn't draw a dig, I guess. Yeah, this is dig mana Jace. Alright, Jace is also a problem. Come on, spell. Alright. Found our own Jace. The race is on. Just hope they haven't found an inverter. Alright, they don't even have the mana for inverter currently. Okay, now they do. I take it all back. I kind of hope they do Thoughtseize or Erasure me now. Alright, it didn't happen. Alright, so I can push this. It takes off 2 of the devotion at least. They still get to look at 3 cards because of Jace, so that was a pretty good Oracle. They're just looking for Inverter at this point. If they... Inverter or Dig are both really good. Alright, speaking of Dig. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to Fabled Passage first. What I'm really interested in doing is finding a discard spell and an inverter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, alright. I'm going to think about what I'm delving. Because there have been a few times where, like, post-inverter, I would have been really into having a land I could draw. Alright, so I left the Drowned Catacombs in there this time. Alright, double inverter is pretty hot. That's going to be hard to beat. Inverter, inverter. The rest on the bottom. Alright, I'm going to slam my inverter right now. And then if I target them with Jace, that gives me a little bit of space in case they like draw Hero's Downfall, pick off my Jace. It also makes their inverter a little worse, and their dig's already going to happen, so I'm going to mill them. Alright, so I'm set up to win next turn. Like, the Jace in play and the Oracle in my deck both win the game next turn. Alright, Thoughtseize my backup inverter, probably. Oh, they took my cut. That's weird. Why would that matter? Okay, it doesn't. Alright, just checking. Alright, we got that one. The mirror is kind of a crapshoot, I'm not going to lie. Alright, so Bringing in extra discard spell, though Duress is not the best one, because it doesn't hit either piece of the combo, but it does hit Jace and Dig Through Time, which are really important. Ashiok can mess up their library count and steal their combo pieces. This is a card that it was on my list of sideboard win cons to test, and I'm really excited that Martin Yuza had it in his Pro Tour deck, because I'm into it. Alright, so I don't need these removal spells. I probably want to bring in the pack rats too, just to try force some interaction on what they're doing. But that's a lot of cards to bring in, and I'm not bringing out a whole lot, that many. I know Yuza shaved an Oracle pretty often. I watched his stream where he just crushed everyone. He also didn't like Drown in the Lock very much. Like, his list only has one. The stock list I'll have two, which is probably smart. And I'll only bring in one pack rat. Yeah, Drown in the Lock is pretty awkward because against like the mono white decks and stuff, the only way cards go in their graveyard is if you kill their creatures. So like Drown isn't even on for a while. And it's like always off curve. Like if they're like 1-drop and you go Fatal Push, their next turn they're casting a 2-mana spell, which is they only have one card in their graveyard. This hand is perfect for the matchup. It just has 2 discard spells and a way to reload, and dig and discard are the keys to the mirror. Alright, let's turn their hand into nothing and then win the game somehow. Alright, so Mystical Dispute and Drown in the Lock both mess up my future disruption, so I'm just going to take the actual important card, Inverter of Truths, and I'll work my way through these counter spells, or this disruption. So they're going to have to dispute my Thought Erasure, I think, and we'll just get through that. Like, there's no reason to leave up Censor on turn 2. Like, I don't care about an Oracle. And Jace costs 4. So, like, next turn would be the turn to leave up Censor if I'm going to do it. Bummer. Alright. My Dig Through Time is gone. We need a new plan. But this was likely to happen. Like, both of us are just maxed out on our discard spells right now. Ding. Alright, so here's why Drown in the Lock is not great in the mirror. Because the most important spells to counter just get rid of your graveyard also. Right, I'm gonna... So this is kind of interesting. They missed a land drop, which makes Censor better, but my hand doesn't do anything, which makes Censor worse. I am gonna cycle here. If I can get to this dig, we're gonna be feeling pretty good. Alright, that was a good time to draw Duress. They'll probably drown it in the lock. Alright, Duress is drowned. 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can dig right now while they can't disrupt it. Alright, there's Jace and Ashiok. So I could set up Thoughtseize into Ashiok for next turn, or I could just have my best card, which is Jace, but I can't cast it. If I take Jace, I think I have to take a land to go with it so I can actually cast it, and that just seems real bad. I'm going to get Thoughtseize Ashiok and just set up the mill plan. And I have an Oracle, so if I steal a Inverter, I can combo. They missed on their land again. We know about Hero's Downfall in their hand, which is not a card they can currently cast. Heroes D, Censor, Jace. Okay, so I'm not going to give them... I can answer Jace. I can play around Censor by just not casting a spell into it. So I'm going to take Hero's Downfall. I'm also going to play this Oracle. I do want more lands. Yeah, they're definitely going to cycle the Censor there, as they've missed a land drop several times now. And if they hit a land, they can jam this Jace, and then that's a good card to have. Alright, so land, Jace. That's going to meet a downfall. Oh, they milled me. That's kind of smart. I did just leave a card on top. Whatever. Dece. I'm going to eliminate Jace right now before my opponent can refill their hand. Start the combat damage. Alright, so they can look at 2 now. They did keep 1 on top. If I draw an untapped blue source, I can run back that trick they just did to me. Mill their good card. It's a good one. I'll try it. Gotta hope their last card isn't Mystical Dispute. It wasn't. Bang. They left it on top, though. Alright, so now we're kind of miles ahead, but none of their digs are counted for yet. My hand is very good. Opt on top. That's worrisome. Alright, Fabled Passage. More blue mana, always welcome. I'm going to target me this time because I have this dig I want to fuel. Ooh, Inverter. So I could dig into Inverter. I could also play Ashiok and hold up Dig Dispute. Just sort of play this a little slower. Didn't hit any spells there. That's fine. Like, I want to dig before I invert, because if I delve away my graveyard, I can just win next turn, just Inverter, activate Jace, GG. They topped with Opt, right? Unmoored Ego. That's a pretty good one. Maybe that's what they left on top and they were playing around Dispute. Luckily, I'm in a spot I can win without Inverter, so I'm going to dig in response to this. See if their last card is a counterspell. Then I can pick if I'd rather have Dig or Ego. Resolve. Alright, it wasn't. Alright, so I just have 1,000 Mystical Disputes. That's actually pretty good because I'm miles ahead on board and just winning right now. So I'll Dispute to tap them out. They'll exile my Inverter. And then we're just on Jace versus Ashiok, deck point race. Dual decks. Alright, that resolves. Since there is an Inverter in my hand, I'll get to draw a card. They have a lot of mana, so Mystical Dispute's a lot worse than it would normally be, but I also have a lot, so I can hard cast them on a Inverter or something. Probably just Inverter is the answer to or something. It's, like, they're not going to resolve a Jace through any of this. I think if my Jace doesn't die, I'm going to win pretty comfortably. And because of this Unmoored Ego, check it out. Ashiok can just get an Inverter from them. Right, didn't happen that time, but I mean, they're in the deck. Right, so I think I want to continue attacking their deck points because Ashiok's getting to work. If Jace also gets to work. Right, they have one card left over there. Let's check it. Disdainful Stroke, whatever. Thought Erasure. Well, they're Hellbent, so I don't think I need that anymore. Sure, more opt. Sensor is not doing anything at this point. Way past that. Still no inverters. I'm still not sure if I should be milling them or me. Like, I have Jason play, which I think by milling them, it forces them to, like, because that's doing double duty with the Ashiok. So I think by milling them, I'm just providing real pressure, and like my deck is also getting smaller, incidentally. Like, I don't want to just, the way I lose this game, I think, is by trying to pop Jace. Just go coast to coast with Jace and then losing because they have Hero's Downfall or something. Alright, we got a Scarab God. That's pretty sweet. That would go back to my opponent's hand if I cast it, though. Is there... There's no inverters in the graveyards yet. I can try to put one there, though. Alright, now there's an inverter in the graveyard. I can do that next turn. I'm just going to hold up this dig through time for now. Or I guess I could cast it in case they find a discard spell. Rats off to you. Jace and Pack Rat are both pretty good. Any order. I'm not going to cast either of them right now, though, because I want to hold out Double Dispute, even for a non-blue card. So if they Inverter, I can Double Dispute it. Inverter's not even good here. Dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cannot Double Dispute that. I can. It would tap them out. Can I win if they tap out? All right, that's the new question. So if I make the Scarab God Inverter of Truths, the Scarab God's free. It would cost me 4 to make an Inverter. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll have 5 mana left over. If Jace, mill 2, draw 1. There'll be 8 cards in my deck. Oh wait, Jace. Yeah, okay. So the Jace ultimate will just win the game. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, draw 1 from my draw step, 1 for... Yeah, so I just have the game 1 on board here. I believe they already made their land drop for the turn. Alright, yeah, just pack it up. Nice. The Planeswalker plan coming through. Alright, so archive for today. Win versus the Mirror. Yeah, I played in a league with Niv Mizzet. I don't remember if it was the one that was recorded or the one that I lost due to a power outage, but there was a game where I unmoored Ego, my Inverter opponent, in game 1, and they just played Jace and won anyway. And that's basically what I just did to my opponent, too. Feels good, man. Alright, so I'm not in a hurry to opt. I'll get Fabled Passage out here. Like, I'm not going to take 2 life against this red deck, so I can opt. Discovery. Alright, so this could very well be some sort of breach deck. Like, who's playing Discovery that isn't a blue-black Inverter deck? It might have been right to play the Watery Grave tapped here. So, because... Alright. I'm going to lose my Jace probably, or my Dig. It's nice having 2 hits here. But I'll cycle Fetid Pools to use all my mana this end step, and I'll save the opt for later when I want to be more efficient. Alright, Jace is gone. Oh, and I'm taking 2. You got me. Alright, Inverter. Not bad. So I can opt now looking for a discard spell, or I can just hold up Hero's Downfall for this Bone Crusher Giant. I'm going to do that. If I can keep the pressure off, that'll be a better outcome for everyone. And they could also just like jam Chandra right now, and I would like to remove her immediately. Get rid of that. Okay, so I can opt dig right now. No, I can't, because I don't have 4 blue. I can opt dig right now. Yeah, that's a good one. It sucks that if I dig right now, I'm out of mana. So I'm going to pass because I can't dig for a Thoughtseize anyway. That's unsurprising. There's Glorybringer. So dig in the end step. Jace is good and land is good. Yeah, I want the land because that lets me go off all in one turn if I need to. Alright, so island or swamp? I don't think it matters. So I'm going to take the island. Island lets me Jace and Oracle in the same turn, so okay, it does matter a lot. Ooh. So Thoughtseize you, Jam Inverter, GG, I hope. But Anger of the Gods is not going to help them. Alright, so they have to actually kill me this turn. Or like draw Thoughtseize for turn, cycle Canyon, slew, draw another Thoughtseize. If they do that, I lose. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I guess they could draw a second Glorybringer and just exert both on this, and I take 8. Alright, yeah, so they had some outs there. But luckily we dodged them. Alright, so we're against Chonky Rakdos. Ultimate Price is good here. Kalidas probably pretty good here. I don't know, Kalidas is a lot better against the less chunky decks. Like, this lines up pretty poorly against Glorybringer. It's pretty good against, like, the Bone Crusher Giant, though. But their deck's full of Planeswalkers and shit. So, I do want Duress in. They showed me Anger of the Gods game 1, but I suspect it will come out game 2, or at least I hope it does, because I am going to pivot into Pack Rat. Drown in the Lock is not good. Alright, I'm on the fence about Kalidas and Ashiok here. These are maybes. These are definitelys. One less Oracle. Cut is really good. Push doesn't have a lot of targets. It's important that I remove the things that I'm able to remove, but I'm not that good at removing their things. Like maybe another push comes out. I'm making the wrong piles here. Alright, so that makes these 5. Kalidas and Ashiok sitting in the maybe pile. Kalidas lines up so poorly against Glorybringer. Especially when we're on the draw. Like, my Kalidas turn's going to be their Glorybringer turn, just assuming we both cast them on time. I like Jace, like Cut, like Downfall. Yeah, I can cut a Thought Erasure. Seize or Erasure. Like, I should cut some number of discard spells. Oh, this is weird. Why am I bringing in Duress and cutting Thought Erasure? Why would I do that? So Duress is more mana efficient, and it hits the planeswalkers and removal spells. It duresses their Thoughtseizes. Alright, maybe that's just wrong. Maybe Thought Erasure is just a better card, but I'm going to try this configuration. Alright, well, our hand has the whole combo and dig. So I'm going to keep it. Kind of susceptible to Thoughtseize here, but whatever. Yeah, like a turn 1 Thoughtseize, I just have tons of time to figure it out. So if they take one of the combo pieces, it fuels the dig, and if they take the dig, then I still have the combo in hand. So let's see what they want to do about this. So a card like Opt or Censor that can just shred through my deck is my best draw these days. Oh, Thoughtseize. I'll take a Thoughtseize too. Show me your moves. Oh baby. Slaughter games. Alright. They're pretty far away from casting that, but I think I gotta take it where I can. Like, I'm actually more worried about the Bone Crusher Giant, but I don't want to just get cheesed out of this game. And Slaughter Games doesn't have the they draw a card if it's in their hand clause that most of these effects printed in recent years do have. So Slaughter Games would be just the full Thoughtseize plus shred it out of your deck. Alright, so they should probably just cast a 4-3 here. Luckily, I drew Jace, so I can Oracle to soak up damage, and then Jace to win. Dreadbore. Okay, and they played a non-Field of Ruin land, so coast is clear here. Censor and Opt. Do I want or care about either of these? I don't think so. No. Alright. My first use of the no function. No, I do not want these cards, actually. I can afford to take one hit here. I'll just live in that world. Leyline of the Void. That's actually awesome. That's like perfect for me right here, because I didn't want this Fabled Passage in my deck. Alright, so I know their hand is Dreadbore and one mystery card. To get Island here. I just have to Inverter and go for it. Oh, I should have blocked. Inverter would have put Oracle back in the deck. That was bad. They should have cast their Leyline main phase 1 and then attacked. Yeah, I just fucked up. So if I lose to Thoughtseize here, it's because I didn't block with Oracle. Alright, so I don't have any of those. That was a tight heads up play though. Like, it's possible I can't cast Jace. Alright, but I win instead. No Thoughtseize for me. Sad game. Okay. You cast a Thoughtseize. You had Slaughter Games. I don't know what you want, man. Alright, so we beat Chonky Rakdos also. I made a slight Slight punt there at the end. That Thoughtseize would have lost me the game when it would have won me the game if I just made my block. But not punished this time. All right, we're back for round 3. We're on the play. I'm going to keep this hand with a bunch of disruption and dig through time. We're playing against Brad Nelson. He's probably also PT testing right now. Alright, so I'm going to get Island, even though my hand is just full of black cards, because eventually, like, after I turn the corner of this early game, I'm just going to want maximum blue mana. Like, that's kind of a interesting pull and push. Uh-oh, he's on the, like, super busted Sultai Traverse deck. This deck had a 75% win rate on day 1 of the PT. Oh, that was a bad take. I have 2 fatal pushes. I was busy narrating instead of actually paying attention. I should have taken Traverse there. Ugh. Alright. Big puns, bad beats. Yeah, you gotta look at the context of your hand, not just the arbitrary, like, which of these cards is best, quote unquote. I am somewhat interested in that card. Yeah, so if I had Thoughtseize Traverse instead of Jace, I would have an extra card in my graveyard right now, and I would be able to closer to digging, and they wouldn't have Traverse also. Kind of important. Alright, Thought Erasure. Not sure if that matters yet. I'm gonna Oracle. Like, I know he has push, but I'm gonna do it now while I can still get action out of it. I am gonna keep the fetid pools, because I am in the market for land drops. Just gotta watch out for this Uro. Like, my 2 fatal pushes can, if I can get Revolt, I can push in the future. God, I hope this doesn't instantly turn on. Creature, land, instant, another instant. Alright, so Traverse isn't on yet. Alright, so I still have a turn to erasure that Traverse before it kills me. Oh, I just already had Emrakul. Alright, where are we on that? So, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're at 10 Emrakul mana. I'm going to take the Traverse. If they just draw a sorcery, they get to go bananas. Do I need another land? I will top that also, because I'm digging next turn. I have a target for Fatal Push. They can bring back Uro now that they have a bunch of cards in the graveyard. Shit. Alright, I'm losing my dig through time. And they just put a sorcery in the graveyard too, so I'm glad I cleared out the Traverse. Though this Emrakul is looming. And now I know there's a land on top of my deck. That was a really good draw for them. So, escaping Uro notably increases the cost of Emrakul, but it also ramps. So, there's a little push and pull there. This deck is really cool, though. Oh, there's that island we know about. Alright, so I can Hero's Downfall this. So I will. And I have to do it before it attacks anyway. And it just gives them a chance to untap and draw some spell if I don't do it now. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still at 10 mana for Emrakul. Alright, that's a card. Probably minus mode, yep. Minus mode, yep. Oh, now there's an artifact. Wow, this deck is sweet. And Satyr Wayfinder can just puke more into the bin. Yeah, so if I had thought seized correctly, so if I had thought seized the Jace earlier, or thought seized something other than Jace earlier, I would have a thought seize for the Emrakul now. I probably... No, the deck does play Drown in the Lock and Censor, so... I was going to say I probably should have just played my land, because what am I even bluffing? Alright, so... Hopefully they thought see. Alright. Rewarded. Yeah, so you hold the land in case they have Thoughtseize, and you play the land in case you draw like Dig and need to have more options next turn. Oh, this Emrakul is coming. Jace. Alright, so Jace will mill 2 and then die. But I can't not cast it. Alright, halfway there. Very dead. So I guess I could like still dig into Oracle. The Emrakul Doomsday Clock continues ticking. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, he can cast Emrakul right now. Alright, looks like he figured it out. Yeah, I know. Emrakul, dead. Alright, so how do I beat this deck? I probably want to like pivot to a pack rat kind of thing. Mystical Dispute's probably good against them. Grafdigger's Cage, okay. That stops Uro from escaping. That's all it does, but I mean, that's pretty important. I'm not sure if I want Noxious Grasp. I definitely don't want Ultimate Price. Cry doesn't do anything. Kalitas does very little. Alright, I saw Scavenging Ooze, and other than that, like, Satyr Wayfinder was my reasonable target for Fatal Push. Like, Uro is technically pushable, but Only if I have Revolt, which I have 4 ways in my deck to turn on. Cut's probably good. Downfall's good. I like the Thoughtseize. Drown will always be live against this deck. Almost 100% of the time. Sensor's going to drop off really quickly. Since I'm bringing in alternate win cons, I can shave on the combo. And alright, what do I don't think I want to cut any more cards here. So what do I want to nix from my plan? Maybe it's just Cage. Like Mystical Dispute also stops Uro from escaping, and it's just a better card. Alright. We've got a plan. I'm going to play the Catacombs tapped because I can't do anything with the mana anyway. And if I play Island, Go, and then don't cast Opt in the end step, that gives them lots of information. Yes, I would like a Thoughtseize on top. Little Jace. Alright, Ashiok, let's get to work. Woo! 3 for 3. Oh, I can't wait to have a Courser of Corfix in play next turn. Oh, he just fucking scooped! Ashiok, too good. Okay, I forgot about Baby Jace. So, Fatal Push is slightly better than I originally said. Maybe just keeping one in the deck is better than Censor. Yeah, sure. Just a small hedge in that direction. I'll probably lose because of it. Where he just is beating down with Uro and I have a Fatal Push I can't revolt. But it's fine. Maybe I'll just win on turn 2 again also. Well, I have the push. Let's hope he has the Jace. Are we traversing for a land? Oh, no. Just tapping wrong. Alright. Well, I've got the whole combo and 2 disruptive elements, so let's see what he values. Alright, Inverter in the bin. I guess I should have played Island just in case. Like, it's free to do, and I have Dispute. Alright, I'm not playing Oracle here, because I would like to be able to dispute something if he's got something. Like, I wonder if I'm supposed to dispute an Uro here. Alright, I can't dispute that one. Vivian Reed. Alright, we've both pivoted. Drown in the lock and opt. Drown on the Lock will be good eventually. But Opt fuels the dig right now. Yeah, I'll keep Opt. Ugh, card advantage. Oh, and a Thoughtseize coming too. Good stuff. Tracker. Why did he... Oh, he has Mystical Dispute. Okay. Got it. So you got to watch for that. Like, why? Like, there's a reason to play Tracker before you make your land drop. There's nothing I can do to the Tracker with 1 mana available. So, playing the land first, losing out on the clue to leave up blue, he's telling me very clearly I have Mystical Dispute. Bummer. And I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try to overload this Thoughtseize a little bit. Disdainful Stroke also. Alright, so Thoughtseize is probably going to take Dig. Though I can cast Jace with Dispute Protection on my turn. And he now knows that. Maybe I'll just take Dispute. If he can Dispute my Jace next turn and Disdainful Stroke my Dig in the future. Alright, just took Dig. Lots of respect shown. If he attacks, I get to Fatal Push one of these value creatures. Right, so he's just not going to attack. That's unsurprising. There it is. I am shocked. Shocked. Alright, so he's going to have Disdainful Stroke up for the rest of the game. Swift End. That also brings my Jace to a swift end. That sucks. That was one of the mystery cards in his hand. Alright, time to draw Inverter, or Dig for Inverter. I don't want either of these. I need better action than that right now. So I'm going to put a stop on their draw step. Alright, Nissa Who Shakes the World. That's a good card. Burrow's also a good card. I'm not going to dispute an Uro that's just going to die. I will dispute it when it escapes, though. That's a deal. Still doesn't want to turn on Fatal Push. So I'm going to kill this tracker while I can, before it draws a single card. Murderous Cut. Do I care about Murderous Cut? I don't think so. I got to get this game moving forward on my own plan. Alright, Finally found a land. Nope. That's why I didn't cycle fetid pools on my turn. It's got Emrakul though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, still kind of far away from Emrakul, but the threat is imminent. Don't need that. I will certainly take that. Alright, so Courser, Stroke, Emrakul are the 3 cards that we know are in their hand, and now Salvage. Oh, Courser, Fetch Land. The classic interaction. So if he casts Salvage, that'll put some number of cards in the bin. I don't think it can get to Emrakul this turn. At least I hope not. And I hope the 1 unknown card in his hand also does not kill Jace. Alright, are we escaping Uro right now? It would be a good time to do it. He knows his top card is a land. He knows he's going to hit and be able to develop. That does send the Emrakul back several turns, though. I wonder if you're supposed to salvage first, then escape Uro. He has the mana to do that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Vivian. Oh, we did know the whole hand. Never mind. Alright, Vivian. Top 4 cards. Do something, put it in your hand. So destroy target flying creature, enchantment, or artifact. And the last one is you get some, your creatures are huge emblem. Okay. Fine. Come on, dig through time. Thassa's Oracle. Do you help me? Would have really liked to discard spell somewhere along the way here, but Oracle looks at roughly 500 cards. Alright, so we know that his hand contains Disdainful Stroke. Can we win this game with Pack Rat? The answer is probably not. Does Ashiok win this game? Also probably not. Or I guess I actually have a lot of mana. So I'm going to put the Pack Rat on top. And Jace is going to draw 2 cards every turn. Alright. Let's pivot to Pack Rats. Hope it's good. And Jace is drawing 2 cards every turn still, so like it's not like we're just locked permanently for Pack Rat. Right, Breeding Pool, Satyr Wayfinder. This Emrakul is trouble though, and it's on its way. The Satyr is finding the way. So there's 2 breeding pools in their hand. Traverse on top is troublesome. So it's 2 turns away from going off. If this goes off, the pack rat plan is no good anymore. Maybe the pack rat plan wasn't good anyway. Because Uro gains lots of life, and it's going to ramp also. It's got a handful of lands right now. This deck is really sweet, by the way. Big fan. It's also going to be pretty tough to race all this life gain. So I can make 2 rats this turn. And this is a lot of blocking power. Tracker in hand. Uro's a huge beating. Vivian's pretty close to popping off here. I guess Uro's fine because I just block and Fatal Push. Like, it turns on the Fatal Push anyway. I don't know if I do it right away, but it sucks that Fatal Push is not a rat. Not sure where to put all their extra boxes here so I can keep track of them. That just looks worse, and the box is the same size. Leyline of the Void on top. Okay. Maybe I just let Jace take 6, go to 1. Uro doesn't trample. Yeah, that block seems fine to me. Yeah, Uro not trampling. For some reason I thought it did. But, I mean, I think Emrakul is coming anyway. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, it's Emrakul time. Yeah, he's just going to be able to wrath me with the Emrakul, just clear out all my pack rats. Alright, so he can Emrakul. Next turn Vivian goes off. This doesn't look good, team. Not gonna lie to you. I'll get these cards out of my hand now before they can be used for evil. So what has to happen here? So He can destroy all my creatures, then I get a turn. If I draw Dig Through Time, it's interesting that he played my land when he's just going to kill off my rats anyway. Alright, yeah, all my creatures are going to die. And Jace has to work a miracle here. Come on, dig. Thought Erasure. That's not it. So I think I have to Jace myself. Thoughtseize, Thought Erasure. 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, no, I am just dead. Alright. Yep. Wrecked. Wow, that deck is sweet. Probably want to check that one out in my testing before I sign up for the PT with anything else. Alright, we're on the play. I'm going to keep this. It's not exactly a smooth operator, but it's got dig, double inverter. I kind of Thoughtseize proof. Get to sneak my estuary into play tapped. No extra information. What tribe are you? Your spirits. Okay. It's probably Mausoleum Wanderer. I think that's the only one drop they'd play on their own turn. So I can Thought Erasure them now and just get some pressure off the board. So I will. Like trying to... Oh, wow, they just F6'd? Whoopsie doozies. You have this Force Spike in play and you just F6. They're not going to cast a spell. Alright, so Supreme Phantasm does the most damage out of the things in this hand. Oh, and Offense is a spirit. I didn't even know that. Alright, so let's revisit this. Does Anafenza, or which of these... Oh, you can't cast Anafenza. Okay. So I'm taking the Supreme Phantom and putting Drowned Catacomb in my graveyard. I don't have double black yet, but I do have dig. And I'm not going to draw a land if I can choose not to at this point. Selfless Spirit in for 2. Alright, so now we have the double black. If I draw Oracle or Jace this turn, I can just slam Inverter and the game is over. This is instant or sorcery? Yeah, okay. Alright, let's draw Jace or Oracle. Opt. Not quite what I was looking for. Alright, that is what I was looking for. We just gotta hope they don't find a third land, because then that turns on Spell Queller and everything gets a lot harder. Shit. Okay, so they didn't play Anafenza before combat, which would have dealt 2 damage. So they're holding up something with Flash. We know that they have the Herald, which is something with Flash. Alright, so if they play Herald, tap this, then they play Anafenza. Does Anafenza both? No, another. Alright, so it looks like they do have Queller if they're tapping mana. Okay, so now I have too many cards in my graveyard to just win. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 8 this turn. If they draw land and company for 2 spirits, I just die. Alright, so we have perfect information right now. And I'm pretty sure they should just slam Coco. If it was me, I would be going for the win here. If they hit 2 spirits, I'm dead. Or just that 1 spirit. Okay. Yeah, so we had... I guess they had the Queller, so we wouldn't have actually won with the Oracle. Okay. Let's bring in some cards. Dispute is very good against them. Noxious Grasp kills most of their best things, mainly Spell Queller. Ultimate Price does not kill their important things. It kills some of their things though, so that's probably worth having. So yeah, I could bring in Jace to try to refire. I think I want Ashiok because they're gonna have a lot of creatures, and if I can like actually build a board of creatures with Ashiok, that's pretty sweet. This is also a deck that can't come back from falling behind a pack rat. I'm not sure about Cry of the Carnarium, because a lot of their things are X3s, and they have so many lords, and all their lords are X3s. So this deck doesn't put a lot of cards in its own graveyard. Got the Thought Erasures. I'm upgrading my Censors to be Mystical Disputes. I can cut an Oracle. It doesn't block in this matchup, and now I have the alternate win conditions. Thoughtseize is still really good. I think I'm going to cut Erasure too. Like, just count on the 4 seizes to make it happen. I gotta cut one more here. Not cutting removal. Maybe Jace as just like a 4 mana clunker. Okay. This looks like a reasonable deck to present. Alright. Thoughtseize Pack Rat like it's 2015 or whatever. Whatever year that was. Alright. 2 Selfless Spirits, a Queller. Queller's not going to matter. I think I want to cut Supreme Phantom. That's their best chance to race me. And rats off to you. What do you got? It's a long pause in their upkeep. I wonder if they're figuring out if they should just concede. Selfless Spirit. Alright, I'm going to attack, and before damage I'll make another rat. I'm going to discard Watery Grave. Because Fabled Passage fuels Dig Through Time next turn, and I want to keep the Fatal Push in case I have to take a little pressure off. Like next turn I'll have 4 mana so I can Rat plus push. And this line just completely blanks this Spell Queller. Wow, are they really trying to hold up Spell Queller against Pack Rat? Wow, that's not going to work out well for them. I even have a fetch land to go with the Fatal Push at this point. I'm going to discard Thassa's Oracle, because that is not the plan. Okay, they had a Sailor. So I can push something right now. No, I'll save it for their Lord. I mean, I know they have Selfless Spirit, but like if they play their Lord this turn, realizing that Spell Queller is not a plan, then I can like fetch, zap the Lord. They lose the Selfless Spirit, which saves me 3 damage. All right. As described. Alright, so I'm going to take 2 from Spectral Sailor here. And then they're going to take 12 because they didn't do combat math. Or no, they can block 1. Okay. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Alright. Rat math. Wait, no blocks? No blocks, huh? Okay. Deal. I guess it didn't really matter, but yeah, you're dead. That was pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of Pack Rat. Okay, so I think I liked everything that happened that game. Let's just do that again. It's slightly worse on the draw, but not by much. Alright, yep. Same deck, fired in. Alright, so we have a hand with removal and disruption. I'm going to keep this. So I can play Fabled Passage, and that lets me opt and Thoughtseize next turn for 2 life. I can pay 2 life now, and I can opt now, and then also Thoughtseize next turn. Or then opt next turn. Fabled Passage leaves up ultimate price next turn, though, so that's my tiebreaker. In case I need to kill something. I probably just kill like any monocolor creature they play. Because most of their creatures are multicolor and their threats snowball. If I leave their 2-drop in play or whatever, it's just going to become a 4-power creature pretty soon. Alright, so they probably have Spectral Sailor or Rattle Chains here. Either one I'm fine picking off with ultimate price. I would prefer all of their spirits not to have flash, though many of them do anyway. Eagle. Okay, cool. So now I can cast all of my spells as needed. Boom! That was a big Thoughtseize. Wow. I guess I should have saved my land drop. I could have... Oh, no. I wouldn't have had the mana to push there. Never mind. We're good. This is going to be a good push next turn. Selfless Spirit. Bummer. Alright. The Fatal Push is still going to be great. Of course, if I draw an Oracle or Jace, I can just jam Inverter instead. I'm not really looking for lands. I should Fabled Passage before I opt. That way if I scry to the bottom, I don't shuffle that bad card back in right away. Alright, there's Oracle. They let that happen. That's pretty sweet. Alright, that doesn't help them. Hallowed Fountain. Alright, so drawing a second Oracle or Jace would be pretty great. Alright, so they have one card in hand, we know what it is. Just gonna jam my 6/6 here. My graveyard is just, like, pretty much chock with good cards, like Opt, Fatal Push, Ultimate Price. I'm fine redrawing any of those. I just have to work my graveyard down here. And I have a 6/6 flying, which is not a thing they're good at dealing with. And I have Thoughtseize ready for when it's Oracle time, so I can just do a Queller check. Alright, Ultimate Price, sweet draw. That'll buy some time at least. And time is all we need right now. I don't think I should be attacking. Eagle. Alright, you got an eagle. Alright, I'm gonna pick off this Selfless Spirit right now. That also puts a card in my graveyard, which means I can Inverter again this turn and just shortcut this. Turn my 7-card library into a 1-card library. Alright, I'm all in. I am going to attack now. Threaten the beats. I hope I don't just die to Collect a Company because I didn't have a blocker. Though, I don't know if that can actually happen. Just like Thoughtseize Oracle should do it next turn. I don't know if they have a way to make me draw a card. There aren't many of those in Magic anymore. In the early days, everything was like target player, but eventually they figured out you mostly only want to target yourself with card draw. Botanical Sanctum's great. They have one card in their hand, and we have a Thoughtseize and a win condition. Show me the Spell Queller. Mystical Dispute. Yeah, pretty good. Nice. Yeah, this matchup is like tough game one, but if you collapse their house of cards, they don't really function. Like if you like they quell it, they get on board with this, then they have like a 2-drop, then they have like a Queller, then a Lord. Then if you can like kill the Queller, that releases your spell and pick off the Lord, and then they have nothing. And a Thoughtseize is pretty good at collapsing their draw too. Alright, this is going well so far. Playing for that 4-1, let's get it. Okay, so we're on the draw with a 1-lander. But this 1-lander has 4 cantrips in it. So I'm going to keep this. Breeding Pool is usually scary. Like, all of the Uro decks in my testing so far have seemed kind of tough. Uh-oh, it's this Sultai deck again. Alright, we found a land. Salvage. So they kept Blooming Marsh. I like that Emrakul is in the graveyard. Alright, there's Uro. I should be able to censor that next turn when it tries to escape. I guess maybe not, because it ramps too. Oh god, are they delirious? Creature, 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 instant land. They're not delirious. Fuck. Thoughtseize. Alright, that's fine. My hand is completely redundant. I just have 3 pairs. This is a pretty good hand to get Thoughtseized, all things considered. Alright, they took the one of a kind. Alright, so I'm going to get an island with this. And cast Opt. Top. Hungry for lands. Alright, combo's online. They did have a land, so they can escape Uro without getting censored. I guess I could opt in response. Oh wait, no, they have to exile a bunch of things. I was going to say I could opt looking for Drown in the Loch in response, but that's not actually an out because they only have 2 cards in their graveyard. Wayfinder. Do I care enough to Alright, I'm going to opt in response and then make a choice what I want to do with sensor. No, they can have that. So they kept island. Okay, so now I have drown in the lock and sensor. So I could dig plus drown. Maybe I just want to dig now. That's probably better. Alright, so I'll get land and Thoughtseize. Okay, so how does this play out? I take 7, I'm at 9. I can drown something. Then I Thoughtseize, Inverter, I'm at 7. Pass the turn. I can trade with Uro. Alright. Assuming my opponent can't do anything with their 5-card hand and drawing 2 cards a turn, ever. Yeah, having a Thoughtseize of their own would be pretty lame. Grizzly Salvage. Ooh, Walking Ballista is a huge beating. Courser of Crufix. What does that do to the math? So, if I play my 6/6, I guess I get to Thoughtseize them, so Ballista doesn't even really matter. And I don't need to decide if I'm going to counter this, I can just kill it. But Ballista does need to be actually killed, or actually countered. Alright, so I'm going to cycle Sensor. That's done its job. Ooh, I drew Fatal Push, that's lucky. Does Push help me do anything? And I'm not going to leave up mana for it anymore, so I might as well take the pressure off here. And it's 1 point, but it might matter. Guess they also could have drowned Uro end step. Alright, so they have a Fatal Push. They're drawing Wayfinder. 6, 7, 8. Alright, so I am just dead. Because if I take Fatal Push, they can play Uro, or if I take Ballista, they can play Uro with turn. Maybe I'll just hope they don't see that line. Hope for the best. They saw it immediately. Alright. And they also drew Thoughtseize off their Uro trigger, so we're just dead in every direction. Okay, so Ashiok, Duress, Grasp. I like the rats. Dispute, Jace.
Still on the fence about this Grafdigger's Cage. Maybe that's like the whole point of this card. I'm going to bring it in. I don't think I can afford to respect Baby Jace enough to leave in a Fatal Push. No, I don't think Duress is worth it either. Like, Erasure is just a better card. We got to be able to take Emrakul if they have it. Alright, one more cut. Maybe it is just Erasure. Maybe it's Drown. Because I brought in the... Oh, Drown is really good at countering Uro, though. Alright, I'm going to try this. Well, it's not quite Thoughtseize Pack Rat, but it's close. I'm going to keep. It is Thoughtseize Ashiok. Oh, it looks like they have a Thoughtseize of their own. Duress. Wow, that's even worse. So they boarded into enough discard spells that they can have Duress on top of their Thoughtseizes. So I'm probably going to lose Thoughtseize. Alright, so I lost Ashiok. They're not impressed by my Thoughtseize. I want lands, but this is also the best card in my deck. But, ooh, hello. That's a sweet one also. Now that I drew a high impact 1-drop, I'm going to take the turn off to Thoughtseize instead of just get my rat in. Nissa, Salvage, Wayfinder. Alright, I'm going to take their Salvage. Alright, no, I should take Nissa. What am I talking about? Yeah, I'll take Nissa. Slam this cage. Let's see if this is good. This is good testing. We had it right on time in the matchup where we probably want it. It's time to find the way. No lands in there. No lands in there either. Alright, that's not the land we knew about. Which doesn't matter, they're going to get both of them. Oh, paid. Did they find a Fatal Push? Alright, I can live with Thoughtseize. They're going to take Dig, for sure. Come on, land. Kinda. Count it. No, we still don't have an attack. Yeah, we're at a very tenuous point here where they have top decks that could just pull them miles ahead. Like Courser of Crufix would be a big problem. God damn it. Never say the card out loud because they're going to draw it immediately. Alright, so... Yeah, so they have some big top decks, but I have Pack Rat. So it's their job to find the top decks. So I already have double blue. I don't have double black. But I have a powerful triple blue spell in my hand. I'm going to get the Swamp. Alright. Paid off. So they have one card in hand and we know it's Grizzly Salvage. I'm going to get Jason to play right now and start drawing extra cards. And then I'll figure it out with Pack Rat after that. And I'm holding the Inverter, so there's not like a whole lot to figure out. Maybe I should have targeted them so they have I have a smaller graveyard when I invert. Alright, there's Wayfinder. Oh, yikes, there's Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Sorcery, Planeswalker, Creature, Artifact, 7, 11, Land. So they have 12, they're 1 away. Alright, so I'm not going to block that. Oh, right, I can just mill their Emrakul. Sweet. I like that. Alright, they fetched in response. Protect the Emrakul. Alright, so I can play a... They're drawing Tracker. Their hand is Salvage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And one of them is Opt. I think my best line is to jam Inverter. And just protect the Jace. I have another Jace in my graveyard, so even if Jace dies, we still have a plan. This Pack Rat's been pretty embarrassing. Not gonna lie. Alright, Salvage. Creature or land. So they probably took Tireless Tracker, right? Alright, so now they have the Tracker Courser engine online. Their battle cruiser is operational. Alright, another land on top. I'll take that. So there's a removal spell, some cantrips, and another Jace in my deck. So shredding through my deck is my only priority right now. Alright. Yeah, that's a sweet use of Uro. Like, they get to clear the top of their deck and put a land into play off it immediately. Right, Abrupt Decay does not... Ooh, Abrupt Decay kills Cage, which lets them Uro, which may or may not happen in time. Dig through time. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty close to hard casting it, but not quite. I do have 6 mana, so I can make 2 rats. So like I'm pretty good at blocking here. Found the Hero's Downfall also. No attacks. We didn't mill the Jace, so that's kind of a big deal. Like if they find a way to kill our Jace this turn, I can dig through time, find Jace, and I'll have 1 card left in my deck. So they have Abrupt Decay land in hand. Abrupt Decay land Tracker in hand. No, Vivian can kill my inverter, I guess. Alright, so they drew the Vivian. That doesn't do it, right? I just make 2 rats. Okay, inverter's dead. You got me. Rat. Rat, rat. Block, block, block. I'm gonna lose all my rats here, but it doesn't matter because they're dead. I could block in a way that leaves me with 2 rats, but it just doesn't matter. Alright, that was sweet. Grafdigger's Cage turns out real good. Yeah, Uro is the busted thing they're doing. Everything else is just like a Sultai Delirium deck. So if we can control the Uros, we're actually in a pretty good spot. I think I still like this configuration. And the only other thing I could bring in is Kalidas, which exiles Uro. Ooh, alright, so if they cast the Uro up front, they never get it again. Maybe that's really good. I didn't think of that. And, like, there's not a lot of removal in my deck. I know, it's a little wonky, but it's fine. Maybe Thought Erasure is not great, especially on the draw. When they're just like the green Sultai Delirium value deck post board. Or they're mostly that in the main deck too, but Thought Erasure, not really what I'm looking for. I don't know. Maybe I'll just submit 65 cards next time. Yikes. So, potent sideboard card against the Thoughtseize Abrupt Decay deck with a hand that doesn't function otherwise. I think we gotta ship this. This hand is much better. I'm gonna bury one of the Thoughtseizes. Or maybe, yeah, I'll bury the Thoughtseize. Save the Noxious Grasp. Bummer if I'm getting Thoughtseized. Duress, bye Ashiok. We'll never know you. Thinking hard about this one. That if they're like if they take Thoughtseize instead of Ashiok, I was gonna say their hand must be like leaning hard on some important 2-drop. Right, Wayfinder, Tracker, Nissa. I am just gonna take Wayfinder. Alright, so their hand was kind of leaning hard on an important 2-drop. Like without fueling their graveyard actively, this draw gets kind of embarrassing. Alright, so I'll get an island now because I had dig. And I was going to get Nyland anyway because the deck is hungrier for blue than it is for other colors. Shit. Thoughtseize in the graveyard, and they're going to take one of these lands. Probably Opulent Palace. Yep. Yeah, that's the only one that really makes sense because the rest... You're not doing anything with them anyway, so coming into play on tap doesn't matter. Alright, now their hand just got really good. So now they can tracker with value immediately, and they're threatening Nissa. Alright, so here's my plan. Oh, Jace. Sure. I'm a lot more interested in that happening than the other options. Oh, sick. I can counter Nissa straight up. Thank you, Seder Wayfinder. Oh, Jace is going to flip immediately. And they can Thoughtseize me again? Shit. I forgot about that. Not going to lie. Alright, so I could kill this thing. So I will. I wish... Yeah, I just forgot about that. I got so excited. Now they're going to get to draw an extra card for no reason. But I can't have them flashing back their Thoughtseize in this spot. And I can kill the Nissa. It's not a huge deal. But they know about it. Or they know about my grasp. There's those cards. And another Jace. Alright. So I think I have to Grasp Tracker just to fuel my dig. Because comboing off is the only way I'm going to win this game. But they're going to get to Flashback Thoughtseize next turn. So it's looking bad. So I can't dispute a Nissa. Kalidas doesn't really help me. Oh, Grafdigger's Cage does help me. That stops the Jace from doing anything on the flashback. So I will take Cage, and I'll take Jace. Alright, so we have a path to victory here. So if they just draw nothing, just brick completely, we win this game. Alright, so they discarded Uro. Alright, race is on. We're going to take 4, then 7. I'm going to make a 6/6 right now. And hope we don't die. How about Thoughtseize off the top one time? Alright, let's dodge. They had 2 top decks to figure this out. I guess 3 if you count the Jace activation. Thoughtseize doesn't kill us because we can invert again and put Jace into our deck. A counterspell kills us. Nope. That's all. Yeah, that's also not true. Vivian Reed does not kill us. We win, right? Oh, they have Cage. Fuck, they can Thoughtseize me. Nope, that doesn't matter either because the same thing. I can invert. Invert the Jace back into the deck. Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. Oh, they still had a clue. I didn't even notice that. This one is tight. Alright, so they don't have attacks. Vivian's really good. I think I have to attack Vivian. Oh, they drew a spell. Cool. Oh, they're bringing back Uro. Yeah, Vivian killing Grafdigger's Cage was really good. What is the one card in my deck? I don't even remember. I hope it's Thoughtseize. I don't think it is, though. Though it might be. No, Thoughtseize is an exile. It's Dig Through Time. That's not helpful. Alright, so let's do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm dead to any removal spell if I attack. If I don't attack, they get an extra draw off Vivian Reed. They're drawing a lot of cards anyway. So I'm just trying to figure out if I can or if I need to pick off one of these planeswalkers. I don't think that I can do that. Yeah, Vivian can't minus. That takes 3 loyalty. Alright, moment of truth. Was this better or worse than attacking Vivian? Alright, that's not super great. I hope. Maybe they just needed the millionth mana. Like if they have Ballista, they can kill me, I think. So they can't really attack with these forests and tap them for double mana. So that's good. Alright, looks like they're not trying to either. Alright, I'll block with my big inverter. Come on, Jace. Alright, I drew Cage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Fuck, I'm dead for Xaxes, because Vivian can minus. Yep. Ugh. Yeah, we needed to draw Jace there. But we lose instead. That was super tight. This Sultai deck looks really good. We defeated every deck in the league that wasn't that deck. So, gonna have to look at that Sultai deck. The dedicated Uro decks seem like they're really good against Inverter, because Inverter is basically a blue black control deck with a exciting combo finish. And like ramp and recursive threats have historically been really good against control decks. So I'm gonna need a real plan against Uro if I'm gonna play this deck. But good to know. That's good testing. That Sultai Delirium deck just showed up at the Pro Tour yesterday. It had a 75% win rate day one, so I'm not surprised it's the hotness right now. We'll see if it holds up and makes top 8, and if it can beat an aggro deck. I don't know, but we'll see what testing fleshes out. Thanks for watching. Stick around for the next videos. There will be more of them coming out this week as I hone in on my deck for the PT. Thanks for watching.